our godmother of the week, the patron of the week. It's Anne Lauvige. Anne was with us at the beginning of the week. And as I've mentioned to you, that to conclude and to close, we have a last speech, last talk from our godmother, from our patron of the week. And that's why I'm going to give the floor to Anne. Just to introduce her, Anne was graduated from Global BBA. At this point of time, I don't want to tell any date or whatever, but that was the FC in 1996, more or less, with a double diploma, double degree from Plymouth Business School, where she spent a year. She started the first part of her career at Yves Saint Laurent, perfumes and cosmetics, first as export assistant and becoming export area manager for Central Europe. Then she moved to Toulouse, where she worked for a property developer managers of vineyards for 7 years, exported organic biscuits, and then sold technical services for Bureau Veritas. She now lives in Washington, D.C., USA, where she started a small company, BConnect, organizing business networking events with her digital platform, and in parallel, helping out French companies know better and expand on the American market. While in Toulouse, she joined the local ESSEC alumni board and headed it for 2 years. She also co-created and managed the UBCM Inter-Alumni Association in Toulouse for 7 years. She wrote articles about her discovery in American way of life as a French in La Minute Américaine. And she's also mother of 2 teenagers. And thank you very much for being with us this morning, very early for you in US. The floor is yours to conclude the Imagination Week. And after your talk, we're going to reveal the award. Anne?
Hi. Hi, can you hear me well?
Not really. Looking for you.
So you don't hear me?
Yes, perfect. We can see you. Maybe the sound is not so good. I don't know if you can try again. No, not better. Yeah.
Is it any better now?
Yes, yes, perfect. Thank you, Anne.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We'll go on like that then. I'm very, very happy to be with you today. I hope that all of you had a great week and that you found a lot of inspiration, a lot of ideas to start this new year. I was very impressed by the presentations that I just saw, and I'll be happy to reveal just after my presentation who is the final winner. So I think it's up to me to share my presentation. So I'll do it just now.
Yes.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, because I can't see what I'm showing, right? Yeah, so to at first I wanted to say that I attended most of the talks of the week, and I just loved it. I thought it was all those speakers were very motivating, right? And I was actually quite enlightened and happily surprised that well, we had some common messages and some words that you will find in my presentation that I found in them. They are curiosity, they are the eagerness to learn, they are kind of a problem-solving mindset. a willingness to share with others, sharing knowledge, sharing competencies, sharing passion, information, and then a positivity, right? Seeing the positive side of life, of things, and seizing opportunities. Right, so that was just something I wanted to share with you before going any further. To prepare this speech, I had to remember how I was, what was happening to me when I was in your shoes, so entering the third year of the BBA. And actually, I realized it was quite of a founding, structuring year for me. Because as Xavier said, actually, it was the year I left for the UK for my exchange year, and of course, it's always a great experience. Well, I was about as well to live some quite traumatic events personally, and then that was as well the year when I met the guy who was going to be my husband and who's still my husband. So it was kind of a founding year, and I wish you to enjoy this year and to make the best out of it. So the idea is, if I understood, is that I speak of myself. So I will, and I will stick anyway to the subject, to this week's subject, which is transforming yourself and to do some good to your ecosystem and your environment. And I'll explain you, I'll tell you why and how I had to transform myself professionally several times in my career. And to do that, I will start with this with the names of the companies I worked for. It's not that much the name of the companies that is of interest, but basically to stress on how diverse and how different the industries were, and how actually I had to start almost from scratch each time, right? So yes, I started with YSL. So YSL, everybody knows, big companies. At the time, I think it was 600 employees, at least in France. And then, of course, luxury, glitters, brand image, and so on. That was obviously in Paris. Then I moved to Toulouse, and so Toulouse, south of France, for the non-French attendees, and property development, so promotion immobilière, right? So, and completely different subjects, completely different construction, architecture, mostly guys, a bit rough, right? A completely different environment. 45 people when I joined. Okay, 45 people. Well, 300 when I left, but 45 people when I joined. So a completely different environment. Then a vineyard, right? A vineyard, independent vineyard, small vineyard in the south of France. Actually, there to sell the wines worldwide, but ending up running the vineyard. So still another life. Okay. Then briefly, but still, this company is handling sensitive data, like mostly health data, right? Like the data that go from the social security to the health provider and the private insurance, right? Those kind of, it's very technical. It's a lot of IT, and as well the French health system, which is quite complex, right? Then organic biscuits. So, well, the previous one was like 300 people and wishing to take a another step. Then, yeah, organic biscuits, 100 people, family business in the countryside, leader on their market, but on a very, very growing segment, and as well wanting to take another step export-wise internationally. Then Bureau Veritas, a 200 years old lady, 60,000 employees worldwide, highly technical expertise, a very wide variety of expertise. So a lot to learn again. And then finally, yes, moving to the US, to Washington, DC, where I am now, hidden in my basement so that I haven't woken up the whole family. And there I started my own business. So wanting to help the organization to create networking events that were more efficient, and using a digital platform for that. And now helping French companies to develop in the US. So sorry to go over that again and to do it a bit quickly, but it was just to show you that it was a big change each time. Okay, so you could actually ask me, but why? Okay, why did you do that? Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, 25 years. Yes, I'm afraid 25 years. Yeah, I didn't like to realize that, but 25 years in total. So why change so much or so radically, right? Well, basically, the first answer I'll give you is that I didn't choose to change every time. Okay, sometimes it was a choice, some other times it wasn't a choice. But the first reason was that, as I already told you, I have a husband. We're a couple, and being a couple means that you have to manage two careers. This is something that is completely manageable in Paris. But France is a highly centralized country, and you'll see that most of the headquarters in France, they are in Paris. So for our careers, being HR, communication, sales, marketing, finance, etc., well, most of the positions are in Paris. So it's something that, well, we just have to know. Of course, there is a digitalization. It was not so much so developed when I left. There are some hopes that at least there are some silver linings, positive sides to the COVID crisis, and that the companies will be in the near future more open to remote working, and that might be some help. I don't have a magic recipe to deal with the management of two careers, but I guess the obvious ones are discussions, are anticipations, and maybe turns. You know, once it's your turn, and the next time it's mine. Actually, my husband was the one to follow me, to join me in Paris firsthand, and then I was the one to follow. Then another reason to change, or another reason that I changed, is sometimes, well, you just have to take the decision to quit, okay, and that is okay. And actually, sometimes it's more, or maybe as much, or maybe more difficult to leave a position than to be fired, you know. But I think it's something that we should say as well. And even if you're at the beginning of your professional life, is that sometimes when you don't feel comfortable in a position, there might be a lot of reasons. It might be ethics, it might be a change of strategy, it might be a new boss, it might be, but it has, I'm not telling you to just quit because you have a new boss, right? But just that if you think that something is wrong and that it creates a situation, an environment that in which you cannot go on well, you should just leave, and it's okay, right? It's okay to quit. Yes, so it happened. For example, I have one example, and it was when I was in a small company, and then all of a sudden there was a change in the strategy because the new people arrived, and the decisions that were taken were completely irrational, right? They were not in accordance to the market, etc. So I made my point, you know, I explained my point, but I didn't win the game. So at the end of the day, I was not the business owner. So, well, the best thing was to change. And you may already have met some people during your internships, some people who complain, right? Who keep on complaining, oh, this company or this position or this manager, right? So unfortunately, that's part of the of life, right? So it can happen, but then what I do, at least it can be an advice, but you do whatever you want with that. But you can draw quite a kind of profit and loss account, you know, what are all the pluses, what are all the minuses, and if there are more pluses than minuses, then, well, you do your best and you try to change progressively, and, well, you've taken your decision, so you will not complain, you will act. And then if there are some more minuses, then okay, you get prepared to leave. Let me see. Yeah. So what I wanted, yes, after to tell you. Sorry, I'm just getting my presentation back. Is that sorry? Is that change? Yes, change is okay. So it's just what I've just told you. Basically, change is okay, and you should always get prepared. Okay, you don't have to change all the time. Okay, even though there is like a messages, at least messages that we were given that well, you should get prepared to change each and every 3 years and go on, etc. It's not compulsory, but at least you should get ready to it, right? Being your choice or somebody's choice, when you're prepared, then it's how you make the best out of it, and it's how change becomes an opportunity. Okay, because this is firstly that it's an opportunity to discover new things, new people, new environments, and to learn. I've told you about why I had to transform myself, but maybe the more interesting is how I managed to do so. So how I managed to adapt to each of my new environments. And I will use again those 2 words that I used at during my introduction. I think that I'm very curious, and I'm always eager to know more or to learn. And I'm always very excited to discover a new company, a new working environment, a new industry. And I've always, or a new country as I am now. And it's so, there are so many differences, right? Maybe if you have already worked or been in internships, you probably have seen how different working can be from one company to the other, right? You have various words, you have a proper vocabulary from one industry to the other ones. Actually, I'm just thinking about that now, but during, almost each time I've taken a new position, a position in a new industry, what I was doing is that I was writing a glossary, okay, with the all these acronyms that are specific to an industry. And believe me, in those industries I've worked, there were a lot. It was like even funny, but it's actually very useful. So of course, curiosity and eagerness to know more are important, but basically the main message and the main message I want to convey today is that at least what worked for me is that you should always observe, listen, and learn. And when you do that, you are in a great position to change, to adapt, and then, of course, to act afterwards to do the change. But at least during my my experience, it what helped me a lot. Please don't be this person who arrive in a company and then wants to teach everybody how to best work, right? You can do that, but at first you should observe, listen, learn, meet the people, talk with the person that have been working in this company for some time at all levels of the company, and observe how people work together, what's important to them, what's the history of the company, and so on. It has so much importance, and it can give you the keys afterwards to be more efficient, simply. And one other point which I found very important is the onboarding period. And I would like really to pass this message as well, that whether you take a new job and then you should ask for a proper onboarding period, or when you are a manager and then you hire people, please try to give the necessary time for new people to get on board, because it's so efficient and cost efficient, actually, and it really gives the people the tool to work at their best. And I'll give you an example for that. That was for my last position when I was in France at Bureau Veritas. I was actually the first, I was business developer, and I was the first one not to come from a technical business unit, not to come from the operations or the competition or with a technical background, because they thought that to sell expertise, you had to be an expert. And this director who hired me thought that, well, maybe it was not necessary, and rather being a good salespeople was the most important. And what he did, and what was key for me to do it, because still at better know what I was talking about, because I was meeting with, my clients, most of the time they were experts. So I had to speak their language and I had to know about the company and so on. And I had to be a quick learner as well, definitely. But he gave me like a month and a half just to observe and to meet people and to tour with the texts and to attend meetings and to go to the headquarters and meet directors there to get the strategy, to get the organization, to understand, to know all the entities that were part of the company. It's a huge company and very diverse one, and to learn what actually was, for example, I don't know, a crane inspection, or the product life cycle management, or whatever. You know, there are plenty of expertise. But the thing is that once I had met these people, I had observed, I had learned from them, you know, I had listened a lot about what they were saying and explaining, and then I had the keys and I could actually get on board and be efficient and show that yes, I didn't have to be an expert to do this job very well, but I actually, after sometimes, I actually knew more than most of my colleagues about all the capacities and the possibilities that we had. And then this is actually what the customers were looking for, because I could answer their needs, right? Oops. Sorry, I went too quick. And then so that was the how I could actually yeah, adapt and have the possibility each time to change. Then, of course, after the why and the how, the idea is as well to be part of the change, you know. Sorry, just again. And so yes, it's you should try to be the change, or at least to help it, and well, for the good, obviously. So what I want to say about that at first is that well, change isn't easy on people, right? Our brain doesn't like change, basically. So because what I saw during my experience is that sometimes people change just to change, right? Or to put their name on the law, or to just to try something. So I mean, it's good to try. I'm not telling you to be risk averse, but I'm just telling you that change isn't easy on people. It's cost efficient. It requires a lot of energy, and it can be difficult mentally for some people. So the idea is that transformation should be made or done with a purpose, right? With an idea, and that obviously, I mean, it's obvious, but unfortunately, it's not always. It's not what I always saw. It should be done communicating and involving the people. It's really, 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 really important, because when you know where, oops, sorry. When you know where actually you're going and why you're going there, then obviously it's easier. It's much easier to go there. Okay, it's much easier to join and to be to be part of this change. And I'll give you a few examples about that. So
just Anne, sorry, Anne, to interrupt you. Just because we have to conclude with the award for the students before 1 p.m. here. So just to let you know that there is 2 minutes, if you don't mind.
Okay.
If it's fine with you. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so I'll be very quick then. So two examples of change. The first one is when I was with YSL. There had been a takeover a few years before, and it's actually Sanofi, the pharmaceutical company, who had purchased YSL. But when I joined, there were still the YSL people and the Sanofi people. Okay, it was not one team, it was 2 teams. So something had been lost in the way, okay, or at least was not so much efficient. And another, still from this time, a positive one is that there was a marketing review, like quarterly, and all the export department was actually invited to join, every people, and that was really great, because all the being the admins, the finance, the HR, etc. So everybody was in the same boat and knew where to go and what it would take to go there. And I think it was really, really important. I had some other examples that I wanted to share, but definitely I don't have the time to do that. But it's like my experience at Bureau Veritas, which was very interesting in this way of trying to getting to know my environment and the people, and showing what I could do and proving what I could do to be able to convince my colleagues that I could do my job, basically more than the customers. And I definitely could do that by observing, listening, and learning. And this is really, again, the message that I wanted to pass on today. Well, thank you.